Hi, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We're here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good, the bad, the concerning and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimi, our passionate heart,
Yeah.
and me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
Yes, please. Mm-hmm.
Um, so we have a new episode this week. I think we had a what happened last week?
It was a long weekend, number
It was
one.
a long
And
weekend, yeah. So long weekend, lots of things going on.
yep,
So
yep.
uh,
Last one for the
we
summer, so
last one for the summer, so we had to do with the blast on our last recording day. But we're back. Hope
Mm-hmm.
everybody had an amazing Labor Day weekend. We're here,
Yes.
back to school, everything. So I guess I'll just start with you. How have you been? How's your? Let's do our checkup. How are you
Well,
feeling?
yes, and I'm doing all right, and like you said, back to school. My little one, she's not so little, but anyhow, she started grade 5, and it was a bit of fiasco at first, but it all got sorted out, and I felt comfortable leaving her, and it was a great first week. It was a short week, but it was a nice week, and now she has a full time teacher. Yeah, I'll just say that these teachers out here are they high demand, high demand in these streets. But overall, I had a good week. When it's a short week, it feels like an extra long week. So I'm just glad I got through it, girl. I'm just
Nice.
yes.
Hallelujah. Amen.
How about you, girl? What's going on? What's popping?
This week, so for the Labor Day weekend, just did a family get together barbecue with some my cousins, and haven't seen them in a while, so just hung out with him at his house with his sons,
Mm-hmm.
and really just relaxed. I think it's so long since our last long. I don't know. It's like it felt like such a big time between our last long weekend, which is actually supposed to be the first weekend of August into the first
Mm-hmm.
weekend of September, which is technically shouldn't is not that long of a time, but it felt very long. So it was
It
very
sure did.
very much
Mm-hmm.
well needed that long weekend. And so yeah, but to your point, like getting back, it was hard to get back into the swing of things in terms of like the work week, but we trudge along and we're here and
Yes.
um yeah, but I'm doing good. And next week I'll be going to Montreal, which would be nice. Hopefully, I do get to enjoy
Right.
it a little bit. It is a work trip, so we'll see.
We'll
But I
see.
like it's a nice city, so hopefully, I can have a little bit of time to myself. And
True.
so, all right. So it sounds like we're doing okay. It's like a
Yeah.
hectic time of the year after Labor Day, back to school for you, and
Yep.
I think the end of the quarter for me, which is usually an
Mm-hmm.
intense time. So, but that's work. But in life, it sounds like we're doing a all right. All right.
Yes. Can't
So
complain. Mm-hmm.
can't complain at all. We give God thanks for it all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have back with the episode, and so we'll jump into the headlines. And so I'm going to start with. There's a lot of things to start with, and I was going to start with Diddy, but let's start with something that's super exciting. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about the U.S. Open.
Yep.
Miss Young 19-year-old Coco Gauf won the tennis U.S. Open. 19 years old,
Mm-hmm.
first teenager, first American. Let me be specific. The youngest American winner since Serena Williams in 1999. You know what, people? That's
Wow.
over 23 years ago.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So, a few years back, Coco went pro when she was about 15. So there's a lot of excitement about her, but she was still young. And in all honesty and all fairness to Miss Coco Goff,
Mm-hmm.
she's not Serena.
No.
She's not Venus. She's Coco, right? And so she did it on her time and with her
Mm-hmm.
ability, and she was against a for the tennis buffs listening. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is not a sports podcast, not a
No.
sports podcast, everyone. But we happen to talk about tennis players a lot because there's certain tennis players that we are talking about, to be honest. And because the Williams sisters for our generation started a whole movement in within that
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
sport, and so it's
Sure
nice to
did.
see what we're seeing with Naomi Osaka, what we're seeing with um, Coco Gauf is that torch being
That's
handed
right.
down, that legacy continuing, because there was a
Mm-hmm.
legacy they started by being so prominent in the tennis world. And it was really beautiful to see her win, and she went and gave her dad a big hug, who was bawling like a baby. It was really cute.
Damn right.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were doubting her and saying it's not her time, but you know what? The player that she's playing against, who's really good, her name is Arena Sabalenka, and that girl's fierce. That girl is a very fierce
Mm-hmm.
player, but she's also very passionate. If anything, I think if anybody plays more to Serena's style, I would think it's Sabalenka, because they're very passionate people and their emotions can get the best of them. And I think because Sabalenka is a little bit all over the place, Coco was able to hold on and kind of win after three matches. So
And what I
congrats.
wanted to say
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
yes, this is not a sports podcast here.
Yeah.
However, we're not celebrating the sports so much. We're
Mm,
celebrating excellence.
mm,
And so the excellence of this young lady, don't compare her, but she's gonna make her
no,
own lane.
she's
Coco's
gonna
gonna
make
make
her
her
own
own
lane.
lane. But we definitely needed, Venus. We definitely needed, big hitters like them to come along and to blaze the way for her to even, make it that, or even think that she can. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
exactly. That's a beautiful thing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what we're really here for. You
Yeah,
know.
it's like we're seeing this legacy of the Williams continue with this younger generation, and it's amazing to see. Very proud of her. Okay, so congratulations, 19-year-old Coco Goff, bask in it. The
Okay,
people them are
girl.
gonna be coming for you.
Yes, set the trend.
All right, so we'll move on. So Mr. Combs,
Oh
Sean
God.
Combs, aka Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, aka Mr. Love.
AKA on the DL.
Loves. So
Let's just put it in there because he has so much damn AKAs. This man is on the DL, and we all know it, and we're keeping it on the DL for him.
hmm.
But Puffy, like I can't. No, I
So
can't with him.
he's in the news right now because um he recently well, I'm not going to say supposedly, it's in the news. So he recently gave back the publishing rights to the Bad Boy Records artists. So that would include Mace, who's been very vocal in the past few years about, Diddy being greedy and not giving his artists their publishing rights. And that also includes Faith Evans. That includes artists such as
The
if we
estate of
remember
Biggie Smalls.
the state of Biggie Smalls. I was leaving that for the last, but yeah. So Faith, Mace, the Locks, 112, and the estate of Biggie Smalls, and they've agreed to receive the publishing. So I will just say, before we started recording this episode, I actually was looking at something to kind of to check out some of the details. So I would say I was very surprised. I knew about the other artists. I did not know about the estate of Notorious B.I.G. because we know that was the real money maker for him to be
Mm-hmm.
holding on, right?
That's what
And
put him
so,
on the map. That's what put him
yeah.
on the map,
So
really.
I was pleasantly surprised to see that he also gave back Notorious B.I.G.'s publishing rights to his estate. Whoever owns that, we never know, because sometimes we assume the estate is owned by the family. That's not always the case. But anyway, that's a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
So the family, interestingly enough, for Notorious B.I.G. declined to comment. However, obviously, I'm sure most of his artists are happy to be getting this, even though if it's a day late and a dollar short, as the saying
A
goes,
dollar
right?
short.
And we
Listen,
know multiple dollars short, but
Puffy made his whole empire off of these publishings. Yeah, yeah. And when
mm-hmm.
these people were hot, he made a lot of damn money. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
damn money, okay? And now when the well is nearly dry, you want to toss a half-eaten bone?
Mhm.
Listen, bro, you might as well have just kept it, because from my understanding, with these contracts, a lot of them, the publishing would have went back to the artists anyways, whether
Yes,
it
after I
have
think it's like
been
what, 25 years, I think the
25
lifetime.
years. So
Yeah.
with Biggie, the saddest part is Jaguar Wright mentioned it in her
Mhm.
rant. And she said that Puffy has made more money off of Biggie Smalls' estate and his
Yeah.
music than actually Biggie Smalls being alive.
Of course. Yep.
That is, think, let's put that into perspective. The man died and he still made more than 25 years worth of money off of his estate, and now you're giving it back, when it's in another couple of years it would have went back anyways. And let's
Mhm.
just be real, with Notorious BIG, his catalog would have still been popping 10 years from now. He made the type of
Yep.
music that lasted, just like Tupac, and all the greats. They made music that lasted and people wanted to sample. So people up to all now, 20 odd years later, them still want to sample Biggie's things. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a gesture that, publicity wise, it seems like, oh, he's so generous and he's so great. But you made the bulk of the money that meant to be made off of that publishing. At this point, now Mace, he's been trying to be smart the last 10 years or so. He's tried to
Mhm.
stay relevant, he's tried to stay in the scene. But I
Yeah.
don't see a lot of people wanting to sample his music. I'll just be honest. And the way that things work nowadays, people don't need to sample music to make it big. They really don't.
They don't, but there is, but there's, it's every few years there's a big what's the word we should say? There's a revival of sampling, and then so right now I think we're in a sampling revival with Burna Boy. He had a few, had Tony Braxton. He has a Brandy one, I
Coil
think.
Ray with
Coil Ray,
Busta.
that's a big one. Coil Ray. There's a female rapper. I don't know if it's Flo Millie. She might have one for what's the song? It's a guy I get Too Short. He has one with Too Short,
Right.
although people have been sampling Too Short for like Sweetie sampled Too Short. So Too
Right.
Short, the song has been sampled many times. But I'm to back to the point is that yeah, there's always a resurgence. And honestly, Kim, let's not forget, like honest after Notorious, Mace is the second
What? Mace
biggest.
made some serious music
Like
and
his first album.
was
Like let's not,
dangerous. It was
we know he's gonna make some money off of some movies with that shit. Like I think
well,
he'll
and I
make a
think he has, and
mhm,
but that's what I'm trying to say, is that the publishing was in P Diddy's hands here, and so
mhm.
the bulk of that hype, that
Yeah,
money,
no,
that
don't
push.
get me wrong. Diddy already milked majority of the
You want to
money out
give
of
him
it.
a half-eaten bone? Like, stop.
Yeah, so
Listen,
that
Mace has been
and
cussing your ass out for years to try to get his shit, and now you want to just, oh, we have a couple years left. Nah, I'll just hand it off to him. It's his music. Like,
yeah, and
honestly,
so, but
I
we
don't
know
like P
why.
Diddy for that. Like, I know,
Mhm,
they say that people who are really rich and do really well in life have to be really selfish, and you can see through history how P. Diddy took everybody's shit, like everybody's shit, and didn't feel
mhm.
no way about it. And the fact that this man died and you're making more money off of him than he was alive, I can't even deal with that. Miss me with it, P. Diddy. I'm sorry. Please. Because he likes to do these little stunts every now and then to try to stay relevant. And you're just a really old man. You know what I mean? And it's tacky. Like, just get out of here.
Yeah, but
Like,
I get what you're, yeah, and it's true, right? But it's about again, I said a day late and a many many million short. Let's put it that way, right? But he at least he did it. So I'm
oh,
not really, he doesn't need, I don't
yeah.
think he needs to be
Mm-hmm.
glorified, but there, we know what I'm really just going to go on before we move on is like there was pressure because remember when Mace has been talking about this for years, but Mace, when Diddy, a big moment for Diddy happened last year and he got an icon. I believe it was a Grammys granted him an icon award, and following that, Mace took to Twitter and aired him out completely, saying
Yeah,
how
as he should.
he sold Diddy bought his catalog. So let's say it was like 200,000. It wasn't a lot, but let's say it was like somewhere in, it was in the, definitely in the hundreds of thousands. So let's say he bought Mace's catalog for 200,000. And a few years back, Mace wanted to get ahead of, yes, because the lifetime thing will expire, so Mace was going to get his rights regardless. But knowing they had a business relationship, Mace asked him and offered him 2 million. 2 million. Mace gave him so 10 times that of what
Mm-hmm.
Diddy paid for it, and Diddy done already made so much millions off of that music already, on top of that 2 million that he would be getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which and he didn't get it. And so that everybody was looking at, like, people have already been looking at Diddy sideways, but he really looked sideways when Mace broke down the actual business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so that was tarnished. Everybody was like, oh, Diddy's wild for that. Like, just give the man his money. He even offered to pay for it, right? Second is Diddy has an album coming out soon, the Love album. And
Ugh.
you don't want all this negative publicity. Like, you know where I'm getting with this. It's kind of like he's trying to
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
his
of
name.
course. And
And like
he's
you
trying to
said,
look like he's
you
the
already
good
made
guy.
millions of money off of these records, so might as well do the right thing. If you're really gonna say you're for the culture, because he's always talking about for the culture, which he did last year for the Grammys as well. And the people were kissing their teeth and rolling their eyes, because, like, how can you say you're for the culture and you're not
Exactly.
even supporting your artists by giving back their publishing rights, right? You're acting just like any other music exec out there.
Exactly.
And so I think after everything and all the negative you know
Yeah, the
commentary, and his
backlash, of
reputation has been
course.
tarnished by this, on top of other things, but this in particular, especially if he wants to say he's a leader of the culture, which technically he kind of is. You have to do the right thing, and so he did it. And we shall see. The only commentary that has come out, so nobody's saying anything really since this has been announced, but there was one artist by the name of Mark Curry, who I believe is only known for um one song, big song that he did, which was Bad Boy for Life. I Maybe he
Mm-hmm.
could have had an album, but I only know Mark Curry for that one big song, and he was featured. There was a bunch of people on Bad Boy for
Mm-hmm.
Life, if we remember that song.
Mm-hmm.
So he said in an Instagram video, it's like, Diddy gave the publishing back. So what? It
Yeah,
has no value. I want him to
exactly.
give
That's what I'm
me
saying.
a million cash, and then I can plan the rest of my life out well. Um, and so the rapper reiterated his desire to be paid for his contributions to Bad Boy, while revealing he had received his publishing rights back from Diddy a long time ago. So this particular artist got his rights a while back, right? But it's kind of like, yeah,
A little too late, bro.
you were on one song, my guy. Yeah, but that's what Mark Curry had to say. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really want to hear from him. I hate to say it, but he wasn't like you weren't a big player, my guy. So you
No.
asking for money is no surprise, because you're broke, and
Right?
your songs probably don't have much value for you compared to a Mace or a Faith Evans. But we'll see what the other artists have to say in the next coming week, as people ask them about their, how they feel about this change in Diddy's position on releasing the publishing rights. So next up is Chrisean Rock.
Yeah. The
She,
mess.
oh
Mm-hmm.
Lord, Chrisean and her, I hate to say his name, the boy that will not be named. I won't name him. I think he gets too much
Nah.
people calling his name. And anyway, she had her first child with the boy to be named, and she named him after herself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she gave birth to him live on Instagram. And so I think when
It's
you
like,
and I were
what is not done on Instagram? Like,
right, and something we have to remember is, and not, I don't want to give it, but we have to something we always have to remind ourselves that, like, Krishan's like 23 years old. She's
yeah.
23, and so she's growing up in the generation where, like we said, she grew up with a phone or a tablet, right? And
Yeah.
so sharing stuff on the internet is not as weird for her as it would be for somebody who's like a millennial, especially an older millennial like myself, right? And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well,
she
here's
gave
how
birth.
I feel about this whole Krishan mess.
Yeah,
Ugh, this nonsense, it just wanted to come to an end. But I do want to say postpartum is a real thing.
yes,
Okay? It's not a joke. It's not something to play with because you don't want blood on your hands. So I really think that They just need to leave her the hell alone.
Yes, everybody.
Chrisean, what I have to say to you, if you were to ever listen to this podcast, if I ever had a chance to really sit down and talk to you, the one thing I would say is you reap what you sow.
Mm.
And how you got them is how you're going to lose them. So when Jaden Alexis was pregnant, you were doing the most.
Who is
You were
his
doing the
who is
most.
his first baby mother, right?
That was his first baby mother, his, high school sweetheart, and all the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Which he already had a child with. So when you were doing the most when she was pregnant, I don't think you understood that karma's a bitch. It's not something to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I see why you wanted to go to Baltimore's and have your child, and why you decided not to have him included in that, experience. When a woman is giving birth to a child, it is a life or death situation for both her and the child. So you need nothing but positive energy. You need nothing but the same goal in mind. And that is that a child is born safely and a mother is fine.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And so she had to go and do what she had to do as a mother. I just need you to come off of Instagram Live. You know,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
your full birth on there,
That is
it's a
wild.
lot. You know what I mean? Let some things be sacred. And I
Mm.
feel like there isn't much out there anymore that's
I mean,
sacred.
at the end of the day, like even though she has a song and she's supposedly an artist, she is a social media personality, right?
Yeah,
Or reality TV show person.
caricature, if you ask me.
Character,
Yeah.
let's put it that way, right? So aren't you devaluing the birth of your child? Like a lot of reality stars will have cameras. Like it's all very weird and icky. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least do it in a way where you make money. I don't know if she made money by doing it on Instagram. You never
Oh
know.
yeah, she
But
had
she
over
probably did.
300, 400,000 people following her.
Yeah. So but I think if you filmed it, then that's something you could package and then you know what I mean? Like it would be I feel like
No,
it
if
would be
it were
smart.
done like through a programming
And then
where
like you said, you
you
could
had a
still
spin-off show of your pregnancy, labor, and
exactly.
delivery. Yeah, I totally get it.
And then my thing is like it's regardless it's not sacred by you doing that, but then you can still
No,
protect some pieces of it. Like you did it live. That is crazy to
right?
me.
You can't put
And
down the phone.
why
You're
does
giving
Krishan
birth, bro. At one point, if you look at it, the nurse that was in the background
she was
voices.
probably like, what the hell is going on in here?
Well, she said that. She goes, "Are you on live? Like, are you live filming right?" And she's like, "Yeah." You could tell in the nurse's voice that she was so distraught, like in the sense where, "Are you for real?
Yeah, and
Are you
why
for
is it
real?
well
Like, put
okay,
your
for
phone down."
two things. I agree with her going home and having her baby without the father of her child being there because he was not going to bring anything but destruction and negativity anyway. And second, why does little Krishan Jr. already have an Instagram page?
Thank you. He's
Krishan
less than a
Malone.
week old. He had it. He's had the page since he was 2 days old.
Yeah, so anyway, he's a beautiful boy. Hopefully, Krishan does a lot of growing up in the next year. I don't know. It's very questionable, but I'm praying that she wakes the hell up
I
because
just want it to end because at the end of
yeah,
the day, the stuff that I'm seeing is just
it's
so
very concerning.
not even under the gutter. Like, not even. It's like so demonic.
Tasteless. Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's
You
demonic.
know what I'm saying? It's circulating generational curses because she has spoken about when she was growing up, her mom was an addict and she didn't have a good life and da 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 da. And then you're here on reality TV and social media, drunk, smoking a spliff while you're pregnant, talking, acting crazy over this useless man, um, for everybody to see. And it's like generational curses. How you grew up, you're already putting that on your little child already, and so it's very like she needs a lot of The thing is, she is prayerful. That's the thing. It's like I want to say she needs a lot of prayer, but I think she needs more than prayer. She needs some guidance. She needs, and it's not coming from her family. Even her mom's like, I feel like even if her mom was trying to help and trying to move her in a good direction, she probably has no respect for that woman because her woman was a hot ass
Well,
mess while she
yeah.
was growing up. Yeah.
Well, I found out, at first I never really tried to pay attention to Krishan and that whatever face he want to call himself.
Hmm.
I never really tried to pay attention to them because I felt like it was so beyond Ratchet. Like Ratchet wasn't
Very.
even
A
like
lot of
Ratchet would
destruction.
be very delicate of a way to describe
Yeah.
it. And I feel like it's so more than low vibrational, it's demonic.
Very.
It's breaking down the idea of black love to absolute crap and doo doo and shit. And at the end of the day, I understand Krishan's story a little bit better now. Like this little girl has been homeless since I think from the age of 9 to 18, yet she still managed to get herself out of that scenario. And Krishan is not a fool.
No.
I don't want anybody to. She might go on like she's a fool, but she's not. She's very not. And those type of people you have to be very aware of and very careful of because they're calculated. Because while they're in your face, they look like they're slow almost, but she's not. She knows exactly what she's doing. She was able to get herself into a position where she could go to college. Okay? That's not a fool. Whether it was through track or not, she made sure that she aimed for something higher than what she had. And I just don't see that anymore with her. And I hope to God and I pray that now that she has this child and she takes a moment to really look at her child, she will see that this is not the way and that she doesn't need this dude. She doesn't need this drama. It's ridiculous. Stop it. You're portraying a very disgusting image. This child isn't even a week old and already what's his face baby daddy is trying to say he's gonna come and take little junior. Nah, man, like fam, this is ridiculous. And I think that you need to go see some suckle yourself with your child. Put your phone down so you can
Mm.
breastfeed.
Put the
Okay,
phone down,
put your damn
please.
phone down so you can breastfeed and have your child grow. This energy is off. It's not healthy for the child. It's not healthy for you. So let what's his face go of a deso with Jaden Alexis and her nonsense. Okay, and along with his mother. His mother is a whole different. I'm not even listen. I'm not even trying to get into it. All I'm trying to say is I pray for that baby because that baby was brought into a very toxic
Mm.
relationship
Whew. Mm.
that was done for all the wrong reasons, for clout, for money, for fame. It was done for all sorts of. So I pray for that child. And I pray for her. And even though she seems to have spirituality and she seems to believe very much in God and she prays and she's thankful to God, I feel like you need to dive deeper into that. You know, you and your baby, you need to dive deeper into that and get closer to God through this miraculous experience that He has brought you through, this blessing that He has given you. Stop the nonsense. Please come off the live. Put the phone down,
Please.
please.
Okay, so yeah, we'll move on because we know that's not going anywhere. And
No,
that's
it's not. And I hope it just changes altogether. But yeah.
okay. I had
Mm-hmm.
a couple of topics here that I think I'm gonna skip and just jump. So the Chloe and Funky versus Funky Dineva. Um, I'll just say I'm not gonna. We'll know it's such old news now. Everybody should know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna say, Funky Dineva, you're too old for that. You're
Right?
too old to be putting down this young lady. Um, your opinion is your opinion, and you could say you're not a fan of her, but going down to the looks and everything, that was just down low and dirty. You sound like a woman hater. I don't know, not a good look, and that's coming from somebody who was a fan.
Yeah. I got to know Funky Dineva through TGIF. And when I heard him make that statement, I was like, you know what? I don't know why you feel it necessary to attack her beauty or her appearance. She was defending her little sister. And if anything, it would be nice, Funky Dineva, if you were to embrace the fact that another black woman was willing to stand up for another black woman. I think that should have been the focus and not so
Mm,
much the breakdown again,
mm,
because you, whether you are, gay or not, or homosexual or whatever the hell, you are trying to break down that black woman for what? Because she defended another black woman? Really? It just didn't make any sense. But he's gotten his backlash, and he promptly apologized. Promptly. And so he knew that he had to. And but I've watched the show TGIF since, and he's trying to throw jabs every now and then, like, "Oh well, if I say this, will I be on the blogs?" And it's like, yes, Funky Diva, you're gonna be on the blogs, okay? Yes, because it was uncalled for.
Mhm.
It wasn't even on
Okay.
topic.
And so, yeah, and then so I'll move on to our last headline, and that is regarding a clip that we saw of Tia Mowry of the Mowry twins, Tia and Tamara. What's the name of their TV show? I feel like I even forgot now. What's the name of their TV show?
Oh, I totally forgot.
Oh shoot, you forgot too? Damn.
Sister,
Tia
sister.
Sister, okay, I was like gonna say, please don't tell us we're getting that old.
Jeez.
You saved us, Kim.
Lord. I had to
Okay,
dig
so
deep. Mm-hmm.
of the sister sister fame. So and if anybody knows is these young ladies, and they had a little brother who was on Smart Guy. I remember Smart Guy, Taj
Mm-hmm. I
Mowry.
remember Smart Guy. Yeah, I remember. Mm-hmm.
And
He was so cute.
they are a they are
Excuse me.
ooh,
Sorry.
bless you. They are
Thank you.
biracial. They're biracial. I did not know which of their parents was white and which was black, to be honest. Like
Really?
I
They
didn't
have
like
said from time my mom
I
is black.
know. Yeah, the thing is I don't follow them like that, to be honest. Like
No,
if
even on the real,
I know,
the
I didn't
twin
watch the
sister.
reel. I did not know until this clip came out. I really don't follow them like that. I don't like I objectively from far I'm like you know when you're just like go on girl, but I'm not like huge fans of them. I hate to say it, like I don't think they are I just feel like I'm gonna say it. I don't think they're particularly talented in anything. I mean, they're
Mm-mm.
child stars, and they had a hit show. Sister Sister was a good show.
That it
But I feel
was. It was a
it
good show, and it
was,
ran
but
for
I
a
do
while.
feel like any child actor could have done it. Sorry, I'm so sorry, but that's how I feel. So
Well,
that's why I
you
didn't.
know what? I think that one of the twins is a better actress than the other,
Mm.
and I'm not gonna say who because I'm not trying to be that controversy, but there definitely is the better actress
Yeah.
of the
Do you
twins,
think
definitely.
so you know them a little bit better than me. Do you think there's one that's a better actress and then one who's a better personality, TV personality, who's just better
Yes,
at that? Okay. Is it two different
yes.
people or is it the same one?
Yeah, so in terms of the twins, like there's definitely a better TV personality, if that gives a hint hint. And there's definitely a better actress. And I find that one is more real than the other. And so I kind of gravitate to the one that is more real and less fake. But you know what? It's nice that she addressed her biracial. She has over the
Yeah.
years, though.
I mean,
I've paid attention to them over the
mhm.
years.
And I guess for me,
And yeah.
yeah, no, I guess for me, yeah, that was a revelation because I haven't. But I'm pretty much gonna just go to essentially she was in the people were talking about her on the blogs because
Hmm.
she did a podcast recently called the Cool Mom Code podcast,
Yeah.
and she discussed her upbringing, and she she said that I identify myself as a black woman. My mother is
Hmm.
black. My mother is black. My mother is a strong woman. My mother is dark skinned. I have seen and felt her struggles as being a black woman. So to me, of course, my dad is white, but I'm an extension of my mother. And only reason I brought this up is because you know people like yourself, people who've been following know that that's something that is they've said before. It's not new. um
No, yeah.
but I do feel like it's interesting because there are some podcasts or influencers or characters that I follow who are biracial, and they have a lot of
Mm.
guilt when when their mother is when their white parent is white is the mother,
Right.
you know, they were going to feel a little bit more guilty or claim the biracial identity, like be firmly say like, okay, I'm not black, I'm not
Mhm.
white, I'm biracial, which is fair. That's true, you know.
Mhm.
But then for T and Tamara to say that, I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, and I agree, and I'm gonna give them that because there's some people are gonna be like, you're not black, you're biracial. No, I think that your mother, the mother is a person who puts is a parent that culture comes down through. People can say all they want, no matter how involved a father is. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the child is latched onto the mother much more than they are to the father. Even if your father is heavily involved, those first few years, they really need their mother, right? They just and a
Yeah.
genetic code, or sorry, the coding of a young baby, a newborn to a toddler, is to be attached to its mother because obviously the mother is nurturing and and provides food, you know, provides all those essential
Right.
things for a
For the
child.
child.
So
Right.
anyway, but we've heard this. There's lots of cultures where they say, like, say in Jewish culture, they say, you know, Judaism or your Jewish identity is passed down through the mother. So if your mother is Jewish, then you are Jewish. And I think
Yeah.
that should go with any culture because again,
It
yeah,
does.
even to me,
Pretty
I could say
much.
that. Like I'm not biracial, but my parents come from two different cultural groups or ethnicities, technically. And my
Mhm.
mom's Jamaican and my dad is Ghanaian, and I gravitate towards identify as a Jamaican. Not to say I'm Ghanaian too. I'm not saying I'm not Ghanaian, but I'm saying if you were to say
No, I
which
totally I
culture,
totally hear what you're
yeah,
saying.
right?
Yeah, yeah. My dad is from Grenada and my mom is from Jamaica, and even though they're both islanders, they're very the cultures the cultures are very different. They're very different. And I do identify with being more of a Jamaican than a Grenadian. Um, it's not that I don't embrace the culture of being Grenadian. I do. However, um, your mother passes down the culture. I was closer with my mother's family. I was always with my mom. I'm a girl. I'm a girl child. And I know that sounds like, oh well, who cares if you're a girl? Yeah, well, the nourishment that you need as a boy is different than the one that you need from your mom as a girl.
Hmm.
And I can understand why she would definitely identify with her mother because her mother's giving her pouring into her.
Yes,
And what she is pouring into
and
her
and you know what?
child.
Like you said, a good point is she's a girl, and
She's a
outside
girl
of the mother, so
like
you're gonna learn to be a woman and mature through your mother, not just because she's your mother, but because you're both the same gender.
well, yeah, and psychology would also dictate that the way you learn how to be who you are through the same sex parent.
Yes.
So obviously, if I'm a girl, I'm going to learn how to be a girl and a woman through my mother,
Mm.
not my dad.
Yeah.
And so if it were to the tables were turned where I didn't have a mother, then I could understand I would have more masculine traits because I'm learning how to be an adult or how to be a teenager or grow up with a man.
Yeah,
And so I'm going to take on those
that's
characteristics.
true.
But as a woman, she's going to take on what her mother's pouring into her.
Yeah, and that's why
And
she
her mother
identifies
is
as a
pouring
black
in
woman because
as a black
like
woman,
that's what she
right?
knows.
Now her sister, I don't know if her sister would say the
They
same.
said that she did. That's what they're saying. So we're gonna have to assume that it's true. So they said
Okay.
both Tamara has said it too because that's the first question everybody was saying in the
Well, Tamara,
comments.
I don't know about
The
Tamara, boy.
comments were
I
swirling
know
that
she
around.
really believes that. Is that a twin
let's give
thing
it.
you're doing
Let's
there?
give it to her. That's
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there.
it.
Yeah, she believes.
Okay, so
We're
that's
gonna
that's
go
it
with
for our
that.
headlines, and we're gonna jump
hmm
into our first segment, which has been whoo. We're gonna just get into it. Lord of mercy.
Ah, the rice and teas on.
And so
Whew.
in this segment, we look at stories or headlines that need a deeper discussion, and where we look at it and we say all you can say is Lord have mercy, Lord Jesus, take the wheel.
Cut the
It's a
wheat.
kind of news where you
Jesus.
feel like there needs to be some type of divine intervention. Okay, so who what we're going to talk about in this segment today is um the young lady. I believe it was New York. I don't know why. I'm assuming it's New York, but I actually have no idea. I'm just being judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say something about. Let me not say where she's from, but she was a young lady who's on Instagram, and she's been, and you could see her crying in the video, saying, y'all, this man just hit me in the face with a brick, and all these black men just watched." And she's there, and she's turning around the camera, and you see some young guys. And she said men, but to be honest, when I saw the little that I remember, I only watched the video a couple of times, but those were young men. Those were like kids hanging out. Um,
And just to clarify, it was Houston,
It's
Texas.
Houston, Texas. It happened. Wow. Okay,
Yes,
that I
where
do think
B's
it's
from.
important to know that
Yeah.
where it happened. See, guys, I'm assuming yes, it is in Houston. I see it here. I'm here thinking it's New York. How judgmental of me. Sorry, New York, because the shit is usually happening in New York. I hate to say it. They're mad. The men
Yeah.
there are mad disrespectful. I mean, I'm willing to be challenged by this. Anybody who's listening from New York, but sorry. So Houston, Texas. So she's in the video. She's saying this man. So she says this man hit me in the brick, and then all these guys watch. This man grabbed a rock and hit me in the face because I wouldn't give him my number. That's what she said. The next video, so that's the first clip that you see circulating. Then she goes on Instagram again and posts another video where she's in the hospital in a gown, and then the place where she got the impact of the brick is very very swollen. Like her face was already starting to swell in the first video, but when she gets to the hospital, like you're
Yeah.
just, ooh, sorry, her the literal side of her face where the impact was made is like the shape of a brick. Like it's not like a, when you
Jeez.
see somebody who's swollen, it's usually puffy and round, right? Like it's literally like a rectangle or square, like popping
Yeah,
at the
where she
side.
got not yeah,
She
where
looked
she got hit with that
like those
brick.
characters that the prosthetic makeup that they use in the 80s movie when they're making deformed people or whatever. So
Yeah.
she goes and she's like, "How is this okay?" And she's posting and she's very upset. And she was probably, what's that word? A little bit of delirium, or delirious, because when something so incredulous happens to you, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Is this my life? Is this me? Is this happening to me?"
Right?
And that's why I feel like I'm giving her grace, obviously, because that was like traumatic, like. Somebody literally had the gall to pick up a brick, like as you said, where the brick came from. That's a
Where the
whole.
hell are we? Where there's bricks just laid around, easy access and shit. Like, where are we? Because
Yeah.
this right here,
Yeah.
there was listen, when I saw this girl's face, okay, when she's in the hospital bed. Now, initially, when she was where the actual incidents happened, I
Hmm.
guess, I'm looking in the background like, is this a lumber yard? Like, is this,
Yeah.
where the hell are we where people are just picking up bricks like that? Like, I don't get it. And then when you look at her face in the hospital,
Mm.
it's like, damn.
Whew.
Um, you got knocked the fuck out. No, anyway, no, I'm joking. But I don't want to take this lightly because this is a real concern. And but I couldn't believe that somebody did this to this woman's face. Like, I couldn't. I was having a hard time processing it.
Hmm.
I really was, because when you look at her face, you can literally see the imprint of this brick. So that means to say they came at her with a vengeance. Like, they came at her hard and hit her upside the head with this brick, where you can see the full imprint of that brick. It's disgusting. It's sad. Now, I don't care what kind of mess this girl started before. There's nothing that could warrant such a response. And so for me, I don't care what everybody else has to say about who she was and how she acted. I don't give a damn. This is a black woman that was attacked with a brick. This is a deadly weapon. This is attempted murder. In my view, this is attempted murder because she has a concussion. So just a little harder, or if you started to run up with the brick, You would have knocked her. You could have killed her.
Yeah.
Okay,
She's
so
lucky it didn't even look like another thing is like her skin doesn't look like it broke. Like even though we're saying like she clearly had crazy impact because literally the swelling was the shape of the damn brick. Um I'm surprised the skin didn't break. And she could have had blood and
well,
stitches and
that's the thing.
mhm.
That's the thing. That's the thing. But whoever this is needs to be charged
Yeah,
with
they need to be
attempted
charged.
murder.
I don't understand why I'm not
Um,
seeing anybody charged yet. That's
and these young boys here standing around her, from what I was hearing after the fact, the reason why they weren't helping her is because of how they felt about her behavior way before this happened. That she was a troublemaker, she liked to hit people, but she never picked up a brick.
she never picked up a brick.
Okay?
Like that's where what are we
She
doing
didn't pick
here?
up no brick.
As you said, there's no justification. She could have called his she could have cursed his granny to his greatest ancestor, to his mother, to his sister. That still wouldn't warrant a brick, my guy. A brick
It just
to the
it's not
face?
explained. I just can't. It's not explained. And okay, so you asked her the number, she said no, and your response was, let me go get that brick over there and go upside this girl's
That is
head with it.
wild.
That was the
The
response.
the person
Like I said, I don't agree with domestic
no.
violence. I don't at all, right? But I would have almost preferred that you tried to slap the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Because you went and got a deadly weapon that could have literally cracked her skull and killed her.
Mm.
So I almost, would have preferred you slapping her. Because at least she could walk away. Maybe she had a busted lip and that's about it. Look at the side of her face. For that type of swelling, can you imagine what's happening underneath?
Yeah.
You see, yeah, her skin didn't cut.
Yeah, but she was
But how many
concussed.
bones in her body, how many bones in her face did you break?
We don't know. She left concussed. I know that's what they're saying. She left the hospital after she was in the hospital for 12 hours, and she left with diagnosed with a concussion. And they said that she shouldn't eat any solid food. So, like you said, maybe the jaw, like to just make sure, I guess, the frame or the bone structure to monitor the bone structure. So yeah, we'll see. But I don't. That's a curious thing. Like a lot of mercy that there's a this woman got smashed in the face with a brick. Okay, a lot of mercy. Okay, a lot of mercy number one. A lot of mercy number two. On people trying to justify it online, like the comments are like, Kim, I'm so. Oh, Lord, our community, our community. I pray for our community. That's all I
Right?
gotta say. I pray
And
for our
so,
community.
right? And this is why I say I can't, I just need like the Chriseans of the
Mm,
world and that drama to end.
mm.
Because it's giving this impression to people that that type of behavior is acceptable. Hence, smashing the girl on the side of the head with a brick. Okay? That violence between a man and a woman is okay. That black love can only resemble violence. I can't get down with
No,
that. Like, I just can't get down with it. And we as black women have to be very, very particular and very careful from the time we leave our house. We have to make sure. You understand? And this is an example of that. I don't care what the hell she did. Cuss her ass out and walk the hell on. Why are we picking up bricks?
remember we were talking about this. Okay, we know. So there's this whole thing about they're like, oh, some guys are trying to say, oh, she's a feminist, so why does she need a man's help? Now you want a man's help. Again, another disgusting retort or retaliation against this young lady, right? But the thing is, a man who is comfortable with himself and who's sound of mind, first of all, a man who's sound of mind and comfortable with
Right?
himself would rejection should roll off your shoulder like water. Okay?
Right?
Rejection should roll off your shoulder like water because
It shouldn't even
it
phase you.
shouldn't even phase you. You shoot your shot and you move on. That is like a normal, sane man. So something the wires are already crisscrossed for this individual in the first place, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, it
Right?
starts with him, and then the other men who, again, like I don't expect because a lot of like, oh, what if this guy's a gun? What if something happens to me? Like I get that safety measure where people are like, you know. So okay, supposedly they're like, we don't want to put ourselves in danger, especially for a stranger. Okay, fine, you don't have to physically put yourself in danger, but at least be like, say, whoa, 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 like create some type of second guessing for the person that's clearly irrational. At least make noise. At least verbally say, yo, what are you doing? Like at least something to make the person whose mind is clearly
Think
on
twice.
going on the wrong track to let hopefully get them to pause. If they don't, they don't. But at least do something. Um, I'm not
But
expecting
stand around and
then
watch.
watch. Yeah, I don't expect
See,
you to
that's the part
use
that
your
kills
body to
me.
protect a stranger or a woman you don't care about or don't know. But at the very least, I want you to see something fucked up is about to happen and you verbally say something. At least.
I expect that if you're
Or
a
call
true
the
man,
yeah, I don't know.
if you're a true man
Mm,
and you see this about to go down,
mm.
you try to step in front of that girl. Not even step in front of him. Say, yo,
Yeah, that's
bro,
it.
it's not even worth it.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
That's it, and go about your business. But you stood there, you watched it, you let her, to the point where she's cussing you and everybody else in this joint out. So you stuck around for that, and then you want to go in live and say that she's this, that, and the
Right?
third.
Because you
Well,
look
guess
like
what?
shit.
Nobody asked you. Just like you didn't have nothing to do with what was going on, you didn't stop nothing. You acted like you didn't see nothing. Keep it pushing. Why are you going on live and doing all these things? Like for me, that's the part that kills me. Is that it's one thing if you're going to be a coward,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Be a coward. Walk the fuck on then. Okay? Be a coward and just go about your business. But you obviously want to be involved because you're going online after witnessing it to put your 2 cents in now. Now you want to have 2 cents. Listen, bro, take them 2 cents and go rub them someplace. See me? You don't need to be a part of this equation. You didn't want to be in it to begin with, so you shouldn't try to get any clout off of it. You should just go sit your ass down with your 2 cents. That's what you should do. Um, I feel horrible for
Yeah.
her, but I will say this. Okay, I'm not just gonna jump down the throats of men because us women sometimes we can really be catty and have a high uh, ignorance of ourselves or arrogance of ourselves. And I hope that when she thinks that she can talk to people any type of way, she remembers this. I remember growing up and my mom always telling me, nobody, don't go out there trying to cause war with people.
Nope.
You understand? Because you're gonna come up upon somebody who's bigger and better than you. So mind how you step. And I'm not at all condoning this behavior. But as a young lady, I have seen how she carried herself. And I hope to God that she learned something very valuable, that you don't need to be out in these streets acting the fool. You don't need to be doing all of this. You are the prize. You are the young lady.
And I
Carry
and
yourself as
yes,
such.
and you know what? I hate to say this. I hope this isn't chauvinistic or anything, but yeah, you don't have no man to be protecting you, girl. You need to like just like
You going around slapping people?
understand your. I'm not even gonna
Girl,
go with that. I'll give that's a skit, right? But like you said, you're
it
known.
might be it, but her attitude,
Yes.
from what we're
Mm,
hearing in the situation, was. I'm not saying that she should adjust herself and be somebody she's not, but in the same breath, you're leaving a club at the wee hours of the morning.
mm,
Girl, you understand what I'm telling you? You're coming out of a club at the wee hours of the morning where people have been intoxicated,
yeah. You know
right?
what? I just
So
went on her
know your
page.
surroundings.
I just
Know where you're at.
yeah.
I'm not saying not to defend yourself. Defend yourself in this world.
Mm,
You have a right to do that. However, right? We don't put ourselves in situations where we have to defend ourselves.
mm.
See, a queen doesn't move like that. A queen doesn't ever put herself in a position where she has to defend herself. She doesn't. Look at Beyonce, if we want to use an example. Beyonce, with her internet, Beyonce's internet, okay? She doesn't put herself in a position where you can say she said XYZ. She doesn't. Okay? So I'm just saying that this is a valuable lesson for her as a young lady
Mm.
on how, when and how and where and what. Okay? Understand where you are. Understand that you are the prize and you don't need to carry yourself like you don't need to do all of that. You understand? So, yes, this man was dead wrong. Like I said, I remember when I said it to you the first time. You're like, attempted murder, girl. Like that's a lot. No, but for real, he should because he's wrong. He's dead wrong. And this is a valuable tale for all young women across the board. You don't know who you're gonna come across. You don't know who you're gonna come across. You could come across the damn devil reincarnated standing in your damn face. You understand? Now, are you gonna war with that? Or are you gonna say, you know what? I wanna make it home. So, unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. We can say all that we want to say, but at the end of the day, this is a grown ass man who took a brick up to the side of this girl's head. Could she have warred him? Could she have won that fight? Think about it.
Nope.
This just happened the other day, like I said to you, with the mother and her son who got off the other day. The man, she's in a hot dog place. The man busts her ass in the hot dog place. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So as women, we have to realize where we're at in the reality of our lives. So, lot of mercy for that young lady.
Hmm.
I hope say your face come back down
Yeah.
because it did look like a little
And I'm
caricature.
gonna need
I'm
and
sorry.
and right now, okay, we talked about it. We have sympathy, we have grace for her, and all the negativity to the men who think that was okay. All the bandulu to you people. However, I'm side eyeing the fact that nobody was charged. So that's what I'm gonna keep an eye. I'm gonna keep an eye on that because it's a little looking a
Mm-hmm.
little sus because you have a video camera and I'm sure it seems like this is a community where people know each other. Like even if you don't know their government name, you kind of know them, you know where they hang out. So it shouldn't be hard to charge somebody in your community. But we shall see.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna watch out for that. But in the meantime, Lord of mercy, take the wheel with that. Go into the hearts of these young men up on the street and tell them, put down the brick.
Put it
Put
down.
down the damn
I'm gonna need
bricks.
y'all to leave the bricks
Leave
alone.
the brick at the side of the road. Again, where are we? Where are we for this bricks? Just like that. But yeah, let's move on, girl.
So we'll move on to the next segment. So we won't be doing a workout, but we will be doing a wagwan for real.
What, Maria?
And in this segment, also known as Watagwan for real, if you're not a
Mm-hmm.
patois speaker or you're not from Toronto and understand the patois twang. So in this segment, we look at stories that don't add up. They don't make much sense. We hear them, we see them, and we have to ask the question: What a guan for real? And so this week, something that's been really heavy in the headlines, is Erica Mena versus our girl, the dancehall queen, Miss Spice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Spicy. Yes.
And so they are currently on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, right? Atlanta? Okay, I
Yes.
believe it's Atlanta
Well,
for now.
not
Well,
well, not
well,
both.
not both. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about now.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much Erica Mena was in hot water um this past week or past couple of weeks because they aired the episode where her and Spice were in a high intensity conversation as they often orchestrate in these reality shows, and things got out of hand. And when things escalated, Erica Mena thought it was a great idea to call Spice a monkey, a blue monkey. And from what now I hear, I didn't know, Kim filled me in,
Thank
um
you.
she made even monkey sounds. So this is where
Right?
the monkey
This
sounds is
damn
what's got me.
heifer. Please.
The monkey sounds is what got me. And maybe because there's two sides of the coin. So since that argument, and let's say what antagonized Erica, let's get on, is during this conversation, it was about motherhood. And during this conversation about motherhood, the
Mm-hmm.
topic of Erica Mena's son, she has a teenage son. We all know about the two little ones that she has with Safari,
Mm-hmm.
and we see
Mm-hmm.
those kids on Instagram and everything. But
Yep.
somebody like me who hasn't watched Love and Hip Hop for many years, I don't even know what's going on in the show. I
Mhm.
just know what's in the blogs. In the blogs,
Mhm.
so she has a teenage son that she probably has an arrangement or whatever. They don't talk about the son on the show. And so
Mhm.
in this argument, Spice decided to throw the fact that we don't hear about Erica Mena's son in her face and says and allude to the fact that maybe she's have a relationship with the son, or the son doesn't like her, or the son doesn't love her, something to that effect. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm. Yes, that is
And
correct.
so those are fighting words. Those are fighting words.
Yeah,
Even if they're true, those are fighting words because that is somebody's child, and obviously we know that is a very, very, very sensitive subject for
it
any
sure
parent,
is.
right? Whether the
Yep.
relationship is good or bad, talking on somebody's child is not, that's going to get a reaction. And unfortunately, the reaction we got from Erica Mena was to call Spice a monkey. She couldn't find her words, and so she went as somebody who um, I guess, is vain and believes herself to be superior to black women. And I'm not saying that as an assumption. She has said many phrases outside of this incident that has alluded to that.
Yep.
That that black men prefer Latino women or prefer her. And so
Blasted
there's
fiesta
a deep
bitch. Anyway,
rooted there's
sorry.
a deep rooted thing
Whew.
there. And so anyway, the fight happens, and as you're telling me, and they break them up, and she goes to her car. She even make goes as far down, low down as to make monkey sounds. So that's where I draw the line. And so there's two, and here's that's why I'm saying there's a line. There's two sides. There are some people who are like, Erica Mena, absolutely unacceptable. She should lose her job. This is unacceptable for her to be on the TV show and able to get away with this, right? Because she has now since been, what's her name? Mona Scott Young has since released a
Mhm.
statement saying that she will no longer be on the show. And then there's other people who are like, well, other black people, black women, who are like, well, if you're gonna talk on my son, anything, it's fair game after you talk about my kid, right? And
Right.
I was kind of like, I'm not choosing a side. I was kind of side eyeing Mona for firing Erica because I'm like, all the things you let go by, you know what I mean? However, it
Mhm.
wasn't until you told me there was sound effects. I don't know
Right.
why it's the sound effects, but it's the sound effects for
Blasted
me.
fiesta. Shouldn't damn root our
Right?
ranks.
And so
Listen,
mhm,
Erica Mena went a step too
she
far.
did. Mhm.
Okay? She did. She went a step too far. She put sound effects to her nonsense. And she specifically named her as the monkey
Mhm.
by calling her blue
Mhm.
monkey. We all know Spice loves the color blue. We
Yeah,
all
that's
know
her
that that's her
brand.
color.
Yeah.
That's her brand
Mhm.
color, right? Okay. So she couldn't do anything else but attack this woman's color.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because she
That's all.
thinks because she thinks
Well, she attacked her for several
mhm.
reasons. One, she's not over Safari, okay, and Spice is very close with Safari. Whether it be because they're both Jamaican, whether it be that they're both Jamaican and on this show, they have a connection, whatever. Okay, this actually started few weeks before we saw the episode, and that's why I have to look at the production, as a little side eye because they orchestrated this definitely, and I think Erica Mena took it two steps too far, and she done lost her job. But I think she lost her job for several
Mm.
reasons, not just this incident. A couple weeks ago, she was arrested, so, she's bringing, unsavory attention to the brand in general. I don't like her. I never have liked Erica Mena. I've never, other than, opening her legs to get to where she is, what is she? Tell me what she's done. She's been a video vixen and associated with a lot of high profile black men in the industry, and so that's such as Bow Wow. But anywho, we move on to now, and I don't even know why they were sitting at the table to have a conversation about parenting. Neither one of them are on the same level. Now, in terms of Erica's first child, we've heard about him over the years, and we've seen little pictures that she might have taken with him when she wasn't such a household name, I guess.
Mm.
And I think Spice was just making it clear, like, you're talking parenting with me and then bringing up that you've been a single mother for 16 years. Okay, well, where's the son we have talked about? Where did that? Because we can't ever hear about him. You only have energy for the two. You don't ever talk about him. So I find it very ironic that they're even sitting down to have conversation when they already had beef well before they sat down at this table to have conversation about parenting styles. If I want to consult someone about parenting styles, I'm going to open up my Bible. I'm not going to talk to another what actress on this reality TV show. It's all scripted. It
Yeah.
just went too far.
Yeah.
It just went too far. And Erica Mena has said this about black people many times. This is not the
Yeah, it's
first
not the
time.
first time that she has shown her ass in terms of how she, as
No, but now
particularly
she's
black
putting sound
women,
effects.
particularly black women.
Yes, and she said that about some black men as
Mm.
well, that she didn't want to do business with black monkeys.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, this heifer is real stink with it too. And in those other instances, she wasn't necessarily triggered by anything that was said. This is something that she thinks and believes. And just because you lay down with a black man and have children with a black man does not mean that you're exempted from your racism when
Ooh,
you display
I've
it,
seen it many times. So sad.
right? And so I think she thought that she could do it, and she tried it, and right, you need to go look at a new job. But in the meantime, Spice has made her point clear that she never really attacked the child. She just attacked her parenting. In that, your child doesn't like you, and so if we're going to discuss parenting, well, why doesn't he like you? And Spice went on a rant a couple weeks before this episode even dropped, and she stated some facts. Like she said, like, where is your child? Like, how come you never talk about your child? And I feel like it's a sore spot for Erica Mena, and people know how to get at her to make her
Yeah, of
step
course.
so
Yeah,
far outside of her
and that's
damn
why,
sense.
of course, and that's why a lot of people were on her side, were trying to defend her because it's like Spice went behind below the belt. And again, I was okay with people defending her until I heard about the sound effects.
Well, I feel like Spice didn't necessarily, because she didn't say anything specifically about the child. She
Yeah,
said
but I have a question.
about your
But
parenting,
Kim,
right?
didn't we have a
I get it.
mm,
I
mm.
get it. Trust me, I would have came for her neck.
Okay.
I would have flew over that table. I wouldn't be. Listen, tables wouldn't be flipping. I'd be over the table, at her jugulars. I would be. Yes, I understand. I'm a parent. I'm a mom. I get it. You can't hit. You can't hit me in my stomach like that. But here's the thing. Erica Mena not only said that Spice shouldn't have made it. She shouldn't have lived. Excuse me? That's going a little way, that's going underneath the belt. And then calling me a black monkey, that's going all over my crotches at this point, okay? Now, you want to add sound effects? Yeah, you're taking me out at the knees. Like, what? We are so far below this belt at this point that even if you alluded to something, Spice didn't deserve for you to say that not only did she deserve death, but you're calling her a blue monkey? Like, what? I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't really rock with
Yeah.
that because I feel like it has a lot more notation and negative stereotypes behind it, a really derogatory speech. To like, I can't even,
Yeah, and I agree.
I
No,
can't rationalize
we can't
that at
rationalize it
this point.
now. We can't rationalize it, and I've thought about it now that I've heard the full story. And like we said, like now, like we don't want to say this, but 2020, a lot
Right?
of things needed to come up, were revealed and spoken up against. So you know what? No matter how you identify, who you sleep with, what your nation of
This is it.
your kids are, if you are a non-black person, there are certain
It's not
things you
okay.
can't say. Okay, and I include the N word in that, and I
Yeah.
include any historically derogatory
Mm-hmm.
terms for black people, which a monkey falls into that
Mm-hmm.
category.
Yeah, sure
You
does.
you can't
Go
get
look
away
it
with
up
it
in
just
history.
because you're
Shit.
Latina. Sorry, Latino folks, non-black, unless you have African ancestry, and even I'll give it. Unless you have African ancestry, you can't do it, my guy or my girl. So you just shouldn't be
I
saying
think
that.
Erica Mena that you and what I wanted to say was she's off of Atlanta, right? But she's also has connections to Miami. So we haven't seen the last of Erica Mena, okay? But I think there was such an outrage that you know, the franchise had to publicly appease their fans because I think they're dealing with the bigger fish right now. And so this negative energy right here, they just had to cease that real quick. So they appeased the people who were outraged by her nonsense, Erica Mena's nonsense, right? And so, but that doesn't. This is she's a cash cow for this. Okay, for she's definitely a cash cow, and they're not going to get rid of her that easy. But we'll see her remerge in Miami. We
I
will,
won't be
we will.
surprised.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all because this is TV, right? So I'm almost positive that we will definitely see Erica Mena, dealing more with Miami. And so look out for her. But in the meantime, I don't think that this is very, this is not acceptable all the way around. I just feel like black women, we really get the short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? And um, I'm glad something was done,
Yeah,
though.
I
I'll
do.
be
I know. I
honest.
do. I think this was what needed to be done, so everybody else gets the message. All the people who say they're for the culture but want to be rude and disrespectful, NASA, it
Right?
doesn't. It won't fly. So I think this.
No, it's not going
I
to
hope
fly. Not anymore.
everybody's on alert. Everybody's head is on swivel.
Better be, best be. But you know what? My real thing with this whole wagwan for real, my whole perspective on this is why is production letting this go still? Like, why was this even
But
aired?
we know why. Kimmy, is that a real?
Right? Okay, so miss me with the bullshit about your firing
That's
her.
what. Yeah, that's what I was. I was like, Mona, please, Mona, come on, Mona.
Right? Mona, you need several seats, okay?
Oh, I forgot to
Because you's a damn
mention.
lie.
I also forgot to mention that Erica Mena was fired. She's actually also on a show on the All Black Network called Hush, and they recently made a statement that they have let Erica go as well.
See? Well, Erica, that she'll resurface just like she always
Yeah, I
does.
don't think this is the end of her,
Um,
but at least she
this
needed.
is not the end of
Mhm.
her because there's some people that actually think the way that she
Of
thinks,
course, they do.
unfortunately, and are quite content with her verbiage. But in terms of spice, like I think you know what I asked you the question. Now, if this were another black woman saying this to Spice as a black woman, would this have gone this far? Would we be talking about this right now?
No,
Really?
no.
Right? Would we? No. Right? So, between the production company, Erica Mena taking it two steps too far, we are now having this conversation. And the conversation should really be about why would this woman want to break down another woman? And I'll tell you why. Because she's jealous as shit. She's jealous, and there's nothing else that she could try her best to attack Spice with
Mm,
but her looks.
mm.
Because Erica's brand is based on her looks. Okay? She got where she is right now because of her looks. So what I'm glad to see is that a Puerto Rican or Hispanic woman was held accountable for her language, for her hate speech. I'm glad that it was she was being held, but I really want to say, well, why would she want to do that to her? And really, it's because she's jealous. Spice is exuding excellence. She's doing damn well in her career. She has made big strides, right? So you can't attack her there. Her parenting, I'm sure you see how the Jamaican woman raises her pickney. Okay, you can't attack her there, and you shouldn't even be sitting down at no damn table to have no damn conversation. You guys are not on the same level. Now here comes Safari. She's been making accusations, Erica Mena, about Spice and possibly Safari having something to do with each other. All sorts of nonsense. So there was a lot of hatred that Erica Mena came to that table with. And she was looking for one, just all she needed was one little thing. One little thing. And she took it all the way left. And now your brand, right. Okay. People are dropping you like hot flies. So you understand what I'm saying? Like they're dropping you quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I hope to God that you find some way. And I know that they're gonna use you down the line because you're messy, bitch. Like they're gonna use you again. I know that. Because it's all about money, it's all about ratings, it's all about people tuning in. And I get it. But I hope that you learn something from this, Erica. Like I really hope you do. And Spice, go on with your bad self, girl. Go on with your bad self. Because I think Erica, man, she got too low for me. But you know what? We're gonna wrap this up. So are there any last words for Miss Erica Mena as she goes plummets down the
She
hole?
just needs to take this
Um,
time to sit down and reflect about, evaluate her life because a lot of shit is obviously off the rails.
right.
But that's it.
I,
That's it for me. Yeah, we could wrap.
That's it. And so that is it for this show. So we do hope that your hearts and your minds were activated on this week's show. So whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please be passionate and thoughtful, y'all. We'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye.
Bye.